I'm not quite sure how to articulate what I want to say in this, but it's when you're learning a language, there's usually a one-to-one mapping between a language you know and the language you don't. So, for instance, the word apple. I can say apple in multiple languages, and I understand the concept for an apple in another language. I just don't know the way to say the word for it or a phrase for it. In French, you have a phrase for the word potato. You say apple of the earth, right? But there's still a one-to-one mapping, pretty much, of a word for a word. Now, when it comes to any kind of programming or language or markup language, or learning those feels different than learning a spoken language in my head. um, which is strange. It's because you're not communicating per se when you're putting code down on a page. You're creating directly. It's a creative process. At least to me, feels like a creative process. So it's almost easier, especially now I'm getting my feet wet with HTML and CSS, and it's almost like you want to draw out the website that you want to design. You want to write out everything that's going to be on there. It's much closer to writing a book than it is to speaking to someone in their native tongue. That's kind of what I'm struggling with. I keep approaching it like a language. I keep approaching it like learning every part of HTML and CSS, learning what it's capable of, like font color from CSS and divs here and sections here, and okay, so it's like useful to know the alphabet, but how do you string that into a sentence? And you see how I'm so stuck in thinking of it like a language that I'm not giving into that creative process and moving forward with progress of actually putting the websites together. So I heard a sound over there. Easily distracted. It's a fascinating phenomena, and I'm trying to phenomena is plural. I'm trying to figure out what this roadblock is in my head so that I can streamline the website making process and get more practice in per time spent at a computer. I mean, I work IT, so I'm staring at screens all the time. I'm staring at a screen right now, technically. When I'm then working on advancing my career into the web development side of things, I don't necessarily want to spend another 4 hours a day looking at a screen. A little burnt out on it. And not burnt out on learning, not the coding, just screens. I just want to get away from screens a little bit. Let's go for a hike. Let's do something other than screen time in my day. Does that make sense? So I'm trying to change how I'm thinking about coding in general, because the JavaScript is just another language to learn. That's easy. The coding part is easy. I get code. I mean, I'm not saying that all coding is easy. I'm just saying that it's like the logic that you have to go through to make some kind of code work and perform the function that you're coding it to do. That's just a matter of time. You just work through it. What have I done wrong? Where am I not thinking logically? Easy. The markup language and style sheets there, CSS and HTML, man, it's different. It's like I need to be better at the planning part of the website and not just dive in and start throwing stuff onto a page of text, because then I feel a weird mixture of helplessness and overwhelmed with dozens of options and not knowing what all those options are, but then not having that dead set 100% decided on direction. It's like, what are you making? Yeah, so that's one issue I've run into in learning web development. So maybe I haven't articulated that really well, but plan better. I guess would be the solution to that. Something else I'm learning too is best practices with HTML. I don't know exactly where to look that up. Is it all in a book? And they're like, this is best practices. Every div should be in a section, and you never have sections in your head. Or like, I don't know. I'm getting a lot better at not repeating myself. That's good. Do you in the industry, do you just say dry, do not repeat yourself? Like, don't repeat yourself? I mean, I don't know. I've heard lots of instructors say that, like, dry up this code. And to me, that's just like math. It's just math. So if you had an expression that was like 4x plus 3x, you would just factor the x out, right? It'd be x multiplied by 4 plus 3, right? It's the same thing in coding, where if you have one piece and it says like this piece should be red, and then another piece beneath it, and it's like this should be red, then you just take the red out and you say all pieces of this kind will be red, and so then you only have to change the very top thing if you ever have to change it again. It makes cleaner code, basically. That I really like. So I've been practicing that, practicing best practices, practicing. Yeah, it's learning. What do you do? So that's where I'm at with web development, and it's exciting. It's exciting to make something that it looks less like that fourth grader's first HTML page. You know what I'm talking about. They're like, I'm gonna make the background red. Yeah. And black text. It looks so cool. And so it's just like red. It's got black text, maybe a picture in the very middle of their dog. I've made stuff a little bit better than that now. And responsive web design is so cool. And you just like resize everything and watch stuff slide across the screen. It's nice. This whole web development thing is tickling the creative part of my brain. Love it. So ways I can improve, plan better in the beginning. Yeah, that's the best way right now for me to improve, because I've got the motivation to do it. I'm sitting down and doing it. I like coding in general. I just feel lost when I sit down at the keyboard. I'm like, cool, now what? Thank you for listening. I'll update you some more as things go on, and have a great day.